Howdy folks, this is Matt with Shady Grove Ranch, Jefferson, Texas. It's 100 degrees today and yesterday was 101. So we got a lot to do with temperature control so we don't lose thousands of animals. So I'm going to show you a little bit what we're doing. So this is our brooder house. We've got almost 5,000 chicks in here, about to get another 2,000 baby layers. So this is going to be the fullest that we have this brooder house all year. You notice the two big old massive exhaust fans. Those are very important. This one over here is a slightly smaller, it's 36 inch. This one's a big one, it's like 40, I think it's 52 actually. Big fan. This one is not on a thermostat yet. I turn it on in the morning and I turn it off at night just to get some auxiliary flow in here. The big fan is coupled both to a thermostat so that if it reaches about 94 degrees, it's just going to kick on until it cools down. That is also coupled to a percentage timer. A percentage timer is something that turns on for some percentage of the time period that you allot. This is a pretty nice percentage timer, albeit expensive. You set it to how long you want your cycle time. It can go all the way down to 15 seconds or all the way up to 24 hours. And then you tell it what percentage of that time you want it on. It'll do the on part first and then it'll turn off for the last part. So we've got it a 2-minute cycle time and it's at 40% right now. So every 2 minutes, so 2 minutes is 120 seconds and 40% of 120 is 48 seconds. So it's going to turn on for 48 seconds and turn off for the additional minute and 12 seconds. I want it to cycle that fast just because we do have a bunch of birds in here, and so there's going to be constantly a small amount of ammonia rising up. I don't want any of that ammonia to stick around, so it's just pulsing every 2 minutes. This is really the most important part of keeping these birdies cool though. I mean, the airflow is very important, but if you can't cool your roof of your building, you are toast. Okay, so we've rigged up a PVC line right here. We've got misters. Those are Seninger misters. Just look them up, real easy to find. These are pretty low volume, but they put a really nice mist and they'll do it at even like 35, 40 PSI. And then I also stuck a big old Seninger direct drive sprinkler right on the roof of the hot side of the barn. So that's actually going to get our a little bit on our door frame right there, which collects a lot of west sun in the evening. So we have the misters all over the deal, and then this big boy right at the end right there. Yeah, it makes the driveway a little bit wet, but it is worth it. One more thing I'm going to show you. Our big fans are sucking air through this building, and to get just a little bit of extra evaporative cooling inside, I put another Seninger mister right here. So a lot of that is getting sucked through the building. If you have a big side wind blowing, it doesn't. A lot of it does land right here, but guess what? As air rushes past that evaporates, and it drops takes energy to evaporate water, which drops the temperature of the air. So a lot of that is rushing through this house. We are doing, I mean, now these are only a week old chicks, so they like it hotter as it is. But I mean, we have 4,600 birds in here and we are losing a couple, maybe 5 a day. Okay. That's what you want. Okay. We're going to go look at the pastured birds here and see what else we're doing to cool these puppies. Oh yeah. Last part, we're leaving this door open during the day, not at night. We do have a hot wire right along the ground right there. Our cats and dogs know what that is. They're going to stay away. But we're opening this garage door just during hot daylight hours. All right. We're cleaning the brooder house out, okay? Stop complaining. All right, hold on. Hey, while we're here, I'm just going to show you what I got. So these are the drip. These are from Drip Depot. These are also Seninger misters. Forget how many gallons per hour. It's not that many, in the order of 5. These have a little barbed fitting at the end right there, so you can buy you some 1/4 inch line, like a spool of 500 feet from Drip Depot for like 20 bucks or less. And those are hanging misters. These produce a slightly nicer mist pattern. These are for pointed up misters. But the deal with these is you gotta get a 1/2 inch pipe thread, PVC fitting or whatever you want to attach it here. So it's a little bit extra, infrastructure, but definitely worth it in the right application. All right, let's go to the field. All right, we're out here at the pastured broilers. We've got some 5-week-old birds, so they're gonna start processing at about 6.5 weeks total, and then they'll finish at about 7.5, maybe 8, I hope not, weeks. The way to keep these guys cool, you really need to do 2 things. Whoa, that's about to burst. We're gonna have to fix that. Okay, we got a hole right there. Number 1, I've got some of those Seninger hanging misters at the very top up there. See, these guys are pretty happy. It's getting darn near close 100 degrees and they're not even panting. That is class act right there. All right, so I just got a little bit of electric wire. It's not electrified, so that way I can pull my my mister down to work on it if I need to. Okay, because sometimes they get clogged. You need to be able to get access to it, pull it down, and then pull it right back up again. To pull it back up, we just take our 1/4 inch line from the drip depot and pull it. There you go. So the downsides, sometimes you're going to get a little bit of wet feed. Try to keep it from dripping into your feeders. This feeder is getting the most moisture, so I should really move that over. Maybe I'll try to do that soon. But you want to let your feeders pretty much empty out just about every day so that you don't have any mold issues. So there's that. What we have determined is that we just need to bite the bullet and buy these fancy $25 brass distribution valves, ball valves at the end, so that we can have lots of different options to hook up misters and waters and everything else. So our supply line comes in. This hose daisy chains to the next coop. This is our mister. This is our water line. This is our sprinkler. Okay, so we've got a sprinkler line that comes right over here, goes into this again a 1/4 inch barb into this feller all the way up, and I have a smooth drive Seninger sprinkler up there. It really doesn't matter what kind of sprinkler you have, as long as it'll project far enough. What we're doing is we are cooling the tops of our tarps. This is absolutely key. Okay, it doesn't matter if you've got mist inside. Well, the birds huddled in the middle are going to be just fine, but the ones on the outskirts, they're going to be getting roasted by the sun and by the heat generated through the tarp and any other structure on this thing that gets hot, but particularly the tarps. So all you got to do is just get a little bit of water on top of that tarp, and that will cool it down. I mean, you know how it is. Like, you walk up to a tarp, it's in full sun, you put your hand on it, and it is hot. All you got to do is get a little bit of mist on there, and it cools it off instantly. So we've got one sprinkler over there. That tarp has seen better days. That's a decade old, and it's just limping by. Whew! I'm gonna have to call David Boatwright and go get me some farm tech stuff, or jerry rig something myself, which is my SOP. Anyway, so we got one sprinkler over there. That's hitting those 2 coops pretty easily. We have a pretty big gap here. This sprinkler's hitting these 3 coops right there. All right, here we are at our beef herd. You know, the absolute number 1 biggest need of your beef herd or your animals is to have clean, cool water during the heat. This bucket's small enough, it cycles fast enough, we got enough cows that's going to stay cool. I keep it in the sun because if we keep it in the shade, I just am worried that cows are going to just stand around it and not let other cows come in and get a drink. It's something to be debated. It's a debatable point. There's a far cry difference between giving cows a shade tree and giving them a shady grove, like Shady Grove Ranch. See what I did just there? It's a lot cooler in here than it is out there with just a single shade tree. The reason is every single tree is an air conditioner, all right? It's pulling moisture from the soil and it's evaporating in the leaves, which really is just fantastic for cooling properties. So these cows, these can go pretty deep into this wooded area if they want. They can have as much shade, and anyway, it's just a lot cooler in here, right? That's just all there is to it. So during 100-degree days, we're going to give them something like this. We might even give them a pond occasionally. And it's not the best idea to let your cows just have free access to a pond, because, you know, if they're just hanging out there all day, their hooves are going to start deteriorating. They're going to get some fungal or bacterial infections, also called foot rot, among other things, which oftentimes you can clear up actually by, well, I believe, not giving medical advice to you or your cows, but I swear that I've cleared up cases with Lugal's solution in the water trough. Not too much, couple ounces per 100 cows once a day. Telling you, I've had limpy cows and I've taken other limpy cows to the vet and it's foot rot, and treat them here, goes right away. Iodine, Lugal solution is iodine. It's iodine potassium iodide. My goodness, I have diverted. We're talking about cooling animals right now, all right? So shut up, Matt. All right, fine. I'm not going to shut up. I'm just going to say a few more things. So there's a far cry difference between 98 degrees and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And the reason that, I mean, and so like once you start getting near the animal's body temperature, and especially above their body temperature, every degree is kind of exponentially more catastrophic than the last degree. And that's because, like, you know, a chicken's body temperature is 104 degrees. So even if it's 100 degrees out there, as long as you get some air movement, they can shed that heat. The only other way to shed heat for them is to evaporate it from their lungs. So instead of sweating, they breathe. Whenever you evaporate water, it uses up energy and cools you down. Sweating is a wonderful thing. But yeah, so once you get up to that animal's body temperature, you start approaching it, there is virtually no cooling capacity left for the ambient air to produce, especially if it's still. If there's not any wind blowing, there forms a heat bubble around the animal, and then it's just, you know, the air right next to their skin is actually hotter than the air 5 feet away. Anyway, at that point, you need to let them get in the pond, okay? Let's go visit the pigs. Hey, look what we've got here. We got some piggies. Pigs are even worse at cooling themselves down than chickens or cows. So what do they need? They absolutely need some mud puddles. Okay, so you can generate that with some mist, or with a different group of pigs in here. We have a nice spring-fed creek that meanders through here. Hey, here's where it starts, right here anyway. So that is a great, look at that. That's all natural water down there. So if you can just give them something like that, that is a great option for cooling some porcine hoggers. But why am I doing this video? Well, heat loss, death in the South, actually anywhere really, because they're having heat waves like in New York as well. It's pretty much the most devastating financial thing, and emotional. If you're trying to be a successful farmer, there's nothing worse than losing a whole ton of animals in a day. So we've pretty much learned how to mitigate that out here, and it's cost us a lot of money to learn, so I might as well help you all out, and you can thank me for it. All right, hold on. All right, last stop for today anyway. We've got another one of those Senninger smooth drive misters held up with a PVC pole real high. Have it on full blast during hot hours. That is going to cool the paddock down. It's probably going to reach a little bit to any of these coops. Sorry about that, terrible videographer. We also have one more big group of pigs, and we do the same thing. We have a Senator Mister that we have coupled to some sort of hose or something like that, and we tie it up real high in a tree so that the paddock a nice mud hole, which is what piggies like, and so do hippos. Thanks for watching. This is Matt, Shady Grove Ranch, Jefferson, Texas. This is part of our series, Shady Grove Ranch SOS. That stands for School of Stewardship. We're trying to help pass on a little bit of knowledge that we've learned from others and had to figure out on our own over the years. Y'all have a great day. Stay cool.